Traders Profit Club is one of the largest cryptocurrency trading Discord groups. So let's give him a big round of applause, all right? He's the last person to put lunch, he's very brave.
Well done, guys.
Coinagenda 2021 Dubai edition. Congratulations to each and every one of you in this room right now. The information that I'm going to provide to you in the next 10 minutes is going to be worth not just your ticket, not just your flight, not just your hotels, but it's going to be worth every bad trade that you've ever made. It's going to be worth millions of dollars worth of information. As one wise man once said, an exchange of knowledge is infinitely more powerful than an exchange of resources. First and foremost, I want to thank Michael Turpin for putting on this phenomenal event. I want to thank Claire for giving me the opportunity to speak. I want to thank Erica for organizing the event. And most importantly, I want to thank my best friend here, Matthias Mende. He's the one that actually invited me to a party 4 days ago. I was supposed to leave Dubai on October 9th, and he's the reason I've extended my stay here. So, the talk I'm about to give is going to cause rumors through lunch, through dinner, through next week. And so you're very lucky to be in this room. I think that none of us have had much sleep. I was having dinner with Michael Turpin last night. We were at White Dubai with Erica and Claire, and I actually haven't slept in the last 24 hours. It was such a phenomenal venue, such a phenomenal dinner. Now, I think it's very interesting for people to share their first encounter with Bitcoin. That's always an interesting story, right? Who here has ever purchased Bitcoin in their life? Who here has ever bought Bitcoin in their life? Raise your hand. If you've ever bought Bitcoin, spot, margin, derivatives. All right. Now this is more important. Raise your hand if you've ever sold Bitcoin. Spot, margin, derivatives. So in 2014, Bitcoin was, actually 2013, Bitcoin was ranging around $100 to $200. And I was 16 years old. My family never had much money. And I had a gaming YouTube channel. And I was making videos on gaming. And I started a business. PayPal limited my account. Back then they didn't restrict me, they called it limiting your account. And as a 16-year-old, I went on Google and I searched how to accept payments online without PayPal. At the time, there wasn't Venmo, there wasn't alternate options. And that's how I encountered Bitcoin for the first time. And so from 2014 and 2013, I was accepting Bitcoin. I wasn't buying it, I didn't have money. People were buying it for me. And this was 2013 actually. In 2014 is when I first saw Bitcoin move from $200 to $300 to over $1,000. And that to me was insane. I was 16 years old, I didn't understand the stock market, I didn't understand the derivatives market, I didn't understand what commodities were. But I did just realize that you could purchase something online and the value of it could increase. And to me, that showed me that there was an opportunity to make money without much effort. So that was a huge breakthrough. Fast forward into 2014 to 2015, I started to look into the stock market because that was the first market that came into mind. After seeing Bitcoin move from $200 to $1,000, I was like, well, is there something that can actually produce income in this type of way? And under the mentorship of a man named Robert Himmler, he was one of the only millionaires in my city of Orlando, Florida, where I was born. He was 24 years old, he had all these supercars, he was one of the only millionaires, and it inspired me. Under his mentorship, I learned the art art and the science of technical analysis. Unfortunately, he passed away of cancer at 24. It's probably one of the reasons he was so motivated. From 2014 to 2015, I was trading the stock market. I was building up a small account. I was trading Bitcoin. There wasn't derivatives at the time, so it was all spot. It was little by little, losing money, making money. My father worked for Walt Disney World for 20 years, had $22,000 in retirement. I blew it all in 2015 in the stock market. 2016, 2017, I started focusing more on Bitcoin as I started to see some momentum. And in 2017, Bitcoin started to move. The ICO market started to emerge. I was working a full-time job. I was in college full-time, still trading. I was in a call center. I was one of the top salesmen. In August, I decided to start a YouTube channel. So I was already doing gaming back when I was 16. I'd stopped doing that. I'd grown a pretty substantial YouTube following, and I delved into ICOs, white papers. Every single day I would read a white paper a day. I used to say, a white paper a day will keep the doctor away, right? And ever since then, I've made a YouTube video on Bitcoin's price every single day for the last 4 years. Why is that important? Because what I'm going to teach you are two very practical things that I get paid millions of dollars to teach celebrities, family funds, venture capitalists, and angel investors. In 2017, Bitcoin hit the $20,000 mark. I retired at 20 years old. I continued to make YouTube videos. Actually, the first conference I spoke at was the Future Blockchain Summit at the place that Michael booked dinner last night, White Dubai. And that's when my life started to change. Now, when I started my YouTube channel, I started a company called Traders Profit Club. We are now the largest, one of the largest cryptocurrency trading Discord communities in the world. We have over 7,000 paid members. We have over 30,000 users on our platform. And most of you probably haven't heard of me because most of my work is done behind the scenes. I manage over a dozen analysts around the world who send out their trades, intraday and swing trades on a daily basis. And that's our company. Now, I mentioned celebrities, venture capitalists, hedge funds. How did that come about? I'll give you an example. A week ago, I was a billionaire in Dubai. It's an amazing restaurant, similar to White Dubai. And I met Jason Derulo in the bathroom. Little did I know, he had millions of dollars worth of crypto. Now we talk on a daily basis, and I advise him on how to manage his wealth and his portfolio. He's just one out of many celebrities and influential figures that I work with. Now there are two things that I find that change people's mindset 180 degrees. And the one thing that's very unique about my YouTube videos is that I call it a 4-dimensional approach to this market. I didn't adopt this approach until March of 2020 when I saw the S&P 500 crash, and I saw Bitcoin crash with it. It made me realize that there was a very strict correlation between certain markets. And so I began going from a 3-dimensional view of the market to a 4-dimensional view of the market. Why is this important? Well, I'm going to teach you two very practical things that you can take and you can change the rest of your trading experience for the better. Raise your hand if you've ever lost money in the market. Okay. So 1 month ago, I took a $1.2 million short position on Ethereum live on YouTube. I didn't take profits when it dropped to 2,800. So I lost about $600,000 over the last 2 weeks. We all lose money. It's part of the game. Unrealized profits, unrealized losses, right? So how do you prevent these type of things from happening? Obviously, this isn't financial advice. You never want to risk more than you can afford to lose, right? So here are the two most important things that I teach my clients, especially the ones that have a lot of money invested in this market. And this is what you could take home and really apply. So, number one, you need to know what to watch. I watch charts every single day. I have to. I make a YouTube video every single day. So what are the most important charts to watch? You know, you can take any course on technical analysis. I would recommend a course primarily based on Forex, because that's one of the largest markets, and you'll learn a lot. And technical analysis is a universal principle that applies to all markets: cryptocurrency, stocks, and of course the foreign exchange market. So what are you supposed to watch? Well, this is how I approach the market. It's the most unique way that I've ever seen. All of the other crypto YouTubers are my best friends. I know the way that they approach the market. You guys probably heard from Tone Bays recently. And so I've got 3 more minutes with you. I'm going to teach you these 2 very practical things, and I'm going to leave this state. So number 1, what are you supposed to watch? That's the most important thing to know. Well, here are the things you want to write down. In the cryptocurrency market, there are certain revolving parts that are extremely important that most people are not aware of. Number 1, it's the total cryptocurrency market cap. There's a chart, the ticker is total. Why is that important? Because right now, the total cryptocurrency market cap is approaching a resistance to the previous all-time highs in May. Bitcoin isn't just yet, which means that there's more capital flowing into altcoins that are increasing the total market cap. Now, what are the other 2 most important revolving parts of the crypto sphere? This is all 3D parts. 4D I'll get into at the end, basically in a minute or 2. Because I know everyone here wants lunch. They put me here before lunch, of course, which is totally fine. So, Bitcoin and Ethereum obviously are the 2 other parts. Nothing else. Why? Well, I like to say that they're the only 2 institutionally graded assets. Why? Because they're the only ones that have CME futures. No other coin has CME futures other than Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you want to monitor BTC, USDT, because that's where the most volume comes from, not BTC, USD, and then ETH, USDT. Now, what are the other revolving parts of the 3-dimensional aspect here that matter? Most people, this is what most people get wrong. They don't watch Bitcoin dominance, and they don't watch a very special chart. I'm actually not going to get into it. It's a little bit more complex. I don't have enough time, but it's basically the altcoins outside of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether. Because that is its separate dominance. So those are the revolving parts of the cryptocurrency market. And then when it comes to altcoins, you have to look at the altcoins against Bitcoin, not against the US dollar. Everyone's talking about the M2 supply, everyone's talking about money printing. All right, so look at Bitcoin, and then look at the altcoins against Bitcoin. So those are the most important revolving parts in the cryptocurrency market. That's the 3-dimensional part. And then the 4D is pretty easy. You have to look at other markets because money moves constantly. And the goal is to know where the money is going every single day. The market's dynamic. It's always changing. And so what have I found to be the most important financial markets to watch outside of the cryptocurrency market? Well, why is this important? Because the second part to this is going to be which of these are correlated. And that will change everything for you. If you know what's correlated, you can predict. So, first and foremost, I like to look at the largest market. Of course, you've got the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. However, both of those are based on specific industries. So they're more biased. So I like to look at the S&P 500. Number one, S&P 500. It's the largest market. And then you want to look at international markets. Because guess what? You can predict things in the S&P 500 by looking at the largest international market, the Nikkei 225, which is the Japanese stock exchange, the Shanghai Composite, the Euro 100. That's pretty much it. And then you look at gold and oil, commodities, because that's how you can get an understanding of the fear in the market. So here's the last part. This is the last minute. What are the correlations between these markets? Well, Bitcoin down. Oh, I forgot one thing. Of course, I forgot this one. The US dollar, the DXY. It's one of the most important parts of this. It's 70% of the world uses the US dollar as a reserve currency. So here's the second part. What are the correlations? So you know what to watch. And now this is the correlations you want to keep track of, and I'm done. Bitcoin dominance has always correlated to the DXY, the US dollar. Kathy Woods will talk about this. In 2017 and 18, through the bear market, we saw a flight of capital go from altcoins back into Bitcoin. Bitcoin went from 35% dominance to 70% dominance. Well, guess what also went up? The DXY. The next correlation is going to be the total cryptocurrency market cap with the traditional markets. We saw that in March of 2020. So the total market cap is correlated to the S&P 500. And then lastly, commodities, gold, oil, great indication of when there's fear in the market. So that's where institutions will hedge. And with that, thank you all for your time. Enjoy your lunch. I hope I added some sort of value.
Nicely done. Thank you for taking us along. I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to be back here, if you could, in about 45 minutes. That would be ideal. If you choose to make it an hour, that's okay. We're